She married into one of the richest family in the country. From outside, it looks like a fairy tale, but inside that beautiful mansion, there was rules. Every wife had to follow the rule, and if you didn't, you disappear or something terrible must happen to you. Her name is Amara. She grew up in a small home where her father believed one thing: proximity to power could change a person's life for good. Her father was a civil servant. Her mother sold fabric in the market. They were not poor, but they were comfortable. Mr. Michael, Amara's father, was very ambitious, and that his ambition brought one very big obsession. My daughter must not marry small. So he did everything in his power to make sure it happened. He took loans, sold all his lands, emptied his savings, and sent Amara to the best and most expensive university in the country. Not because he could afford it, but because he wanted her to meet people, network, climb the ladders of success. He wanted her to marry well, marry rich. And so he sent her to go and study architectural engineering in the university. And that is where Amara met Adrian Cole. Adrian was Polish. He was not just rich. He was calm, soft-spoken, the kind of man who pays attention to details. He flew her out to Paris just to go and ask her to be his girlfriend. And from there was different vacation: Santorini, Dubai, the Maldives. She thought she had won. When he proposed, her father cried. You see, he said, big places, big people. What she didn't know was that big people sometimes carry a lot of very dark tradition. The Coles were old money, generational wealth, political influence, untouchable. Their public rules were simple. The men never cheat on their wives. They treat their wives like queens. The family image must remain spotless. Outside, everything looked perfect. Designer bags, charity galas, soft smiles for the camera. You see, inside, it's tough. They control vacations. You can't go anywhere without being supervised. Your schedules require approval. Even staff reported your movements. Your body was not yours anymore. She learned something even deeper: the rules of the family. The family allowed only one male child per generation, one heir, one successor, one man to inherit everything. If a wife gives birth to a son, that is enough. If she becomes pregnant with another boy, it must be removed. You can have as many daughters as you want, as many, but never two boys. Division weakens power. That is how they preserve wealth. All these rules were disturbing, but I could manage because there is no going back from here. But the most disturbing part was the training, not the rules. When the heir to this heritage turns 5 years old, he must watch. Watch his fathers dominate his mother. Watch her endure. Watch her silence. If the boy shows any form of emotion, he will be punished. He will be beaten so hardly because compassion makes men weak. They believe hardness must be taught very tender, very early. And the daughters, they never knew about all this. They were treated like princes. They are married into loving homes because even this dynasty understands its own cruelty. Hence the reason why their sons marry girls from decent backgrounds. So I wasn't special, I was just picked. The only person who showed her any form of kindness was her mother-in-law. Her husband died years before I arrived. That is the only reason why she is free. One night, after I was beaten and tortured by my husband, Adrian, my mother-in-law came into the room where she left me. She picked me up, prepared a warm shower for me, and was apologizing to me. She told me this was what she also survived. that I should be patient. She told me to endure, to think about my children until the day I asked her something. What about my son? Won't he become like his father? She kept quiet for a while. She didn't answer me immediately because I guess she's thinking about how a monster her son has become also. Then she finally said quietly, yes, he must become like that. And that is the moment something inside me changed. I knew very well that I could not raise a monster. I can't give birth to a son that will torture the next generation of women. I became pregnant for my second child. When the doctor saw the scan, he was sad. Then I asked him, is the baby a boy? He said yes. This doctor has been in the family for years and he's the one that knows everything that goes down. He dared not to speak as well because he knows the whole family very well. I knew if Adrian finds out about this child, he would tell me to remove it. I said, please help me hold this secret from my husband. I'm going to tell him. That night, I walked into his room. I told him it was a boy. He didn't smile. He told me, you know what to do, right? I said to him softly, I will take care of it. This dynasty does not need two kings. He looked at me for a moment and then nodded satisfied. I knew you would understand. Smart girl. That was the night he stopped watching me. From that moment, I became perfect. I noticed him, studied his character. I knew how his routines was, his habits, his every morning moves. I became a perfect submissive woman. Adrian believed me. He thought like every other woman in the generation of this family, I have learned to accept my fate. And in a strange way, he was right. Decisions like this does not just come into existence, they grow quietly until planning replaces it with fear. Aside his mother, Adrian trusted only one person completely, me. I prepared all his meals. I allowed him control me. Whenever he beats me, I agree. I never force things to happen anymore. Before I would be resistant, but now no more. He was surprised at first, but he learned to accept the fact that I have become controllable. Before I endured with fear, but now I endured with purpose. Submission made him comfortable, and comfort made him careless. Adrian became really sick. At first, it begins with fatigue, then headache, then stomach pains. I became the really concerned wife. Maybe you should see the doctor, I suggested. I drove him to every appointment. I sat beside him during tests. Doctors found irregularities, but not really clear. So he flew in specialists for more tests, more confusion. Nobody could really pinpoint what was wrong with him, but his body kept becoming weak. Sickness changed powerful men. Adrian became quieter, more dependent. The same hands that once controlled me now trembled when he held mine. And he never suspected anything because he believed he had reformed me. You see, what everyone didn't know was I became the perfect slave for him. I stopped fighting. I stopped crying loudly. I stopped resisting. I stopped even flinching. When he raised his voice, I lowered mine. When he grabbed my waist, I softened my body. When he hurt me, I let my face go blank. And that really confused him at first because men like Adrian feed on resistance. Resistance allowed them feel justified in difficulties. But when I stopped struggling physically, I started fighting quietly. He trusted me now, so I knew quiet ways to kill him without being seen. One thing I didn't mention was that the doctor was my secret crush. We went to school together with him and Adrian. So we were like trio. He helped me hide my pregnancy and he helped me with substance that will help me take Adrian out for life. The doses of drugs he kept giving Adrian was the one that inflicted his sickness slowly. So that's how I started adding it into his meals and drink. His health declined slowly. Weeks turned to months. Doctors called it systemic deterioration. with no clear origin. Money couldn't fix it, influence couldn't stop it. He died in a hospital room surrounded by expensive machines and quiet confusion. There was no dramatic final speech, just exhaustion. The first night I slept without fear, I felt emptiness more than relief. I told my family I lost the second pregnancy under stress. They accepted it. My son became the only heir. Months later, my mother-in-law looked at me and said only one thing: raise him differently. I never spoke about it again. Some secrets aren't buried, they simply dissolve until even people who lived them begin to wonder whether they ever happened.